From the vast expanse of the cosmos to the intricate workings of the human mind, we find ourselves in a universe teeming with wonder and mystery. Since the dawn of consciousness, humans have gazed at the stars and contemplated the nature of their own existence. These fundamental questions have driven us to explore, to question, and to seek answers in the realm of philosophy. Philosophy, often called the love of wisdom, is the pursuit of understanding the fundamental truths about ourselves and the world around us. It is a journey into the heart of existence, a quest to unravel the mysteries of knowledge, reality, and the meaning of life itself. Through careful reasoning, critical analysis, and a willingness to challenge assumptions, philosophers throughout history have illuminated the path towards a deeper understanding of who we are and what it means to be human. In this exploration of philosophical thought, we will delve into 5 key concepts that have shaped the course of intellectual history. Each concept offers a unique perspective on the nature of reality, the acquisition of knowledge, and the principles that guide our actions. From the mind-body dualism of René Descartes to the utilitarian ethics of John Stuart Mill, these ideas have sparked debate and inspired generations of thinkers. At the heart of philosophy lies the power of questions. It is through questioning that we challenge assumptions, expose inconsistencies, and push the boundaries of human understanding. Unlike other disciplines that seek definitive answers, philosophy embraces the unknown, acknowledging that the search for truth is an ongoing process. The questions posed by philosophers are not merely abstract puzzles to be solved in isolation. They have profound implications for how we live our lives, interact with others, and make sense of the world around us. By grappling with these questions, we engage in a process of self-discovery, refining our values, and developing a more nuanced understanding of the human condition. Consider the question of free will. Do we truly have control over our actions, or are our choices predetermined by factors beyond our control? This question has occupied philosophers for centuries, with no easy answers in sight. Yet the very act of contemplating this question compels us to examine our assumptions about responsibility, morality, and the nature of consciousness itself. The 5 philosophical concepts we will explore in this journey are not meant to be definitive answers to life's big questions. Rather, they serve as lenses through which we can view the world, offering different perspectives on the nature of reality, knowledge, and human experience. By understanding these concepts, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of human thought and the enduring power of philosophical inquiry. Our exploration begins with dualism, a concept championed by René Descartes, which posits a fundamental division between the mind and the body. From there, we will delve into the realm of empiricism, with thinkers like John Locke and David Hume emphasizing the role of sensory experience in shaping our understanding of the world. We will then turn to rationalism, exploring the power of reason and logic as tools for uncovering truth, as espoused by thinkers like Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz and Baruch Spinoza. As we journey further, we will encounter the profound and often unsettling ideas of existentialism, with philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir challenging us to confront the meaninglessness of existence and forge our own paths in a world devoid of inherent purpose. Finally, we will conclude our exploration with utilitarianism, examining the ethical framework proposed by Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, which emphasizes maximizing happiness and well-being for the greatest number of people. Our exploration of philosophical thought begins with a concept that strikes at the very core of what it means to be human: dualism. This enduring idea proposes a fundamental division within our being, a separation between the tangible realm of the physical body and the elusive realm of the mind or soul. It is a perspective that has captivated thinkers for centuries, prompting questions about the nature of consciousness, the relationship between mind and matter, and the possibility of an existence beyond our physical selves. Imagine for a moment that you could reach inside yourself and touch the essence of your being, your thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Would you grasp something physical, something akin to the organs that pump your blood and digest your food? Or would you encounter something entirely different, something immaterial and ethereal? This is the central question at the heart of dualism. Dualism, in its essence, argues that the mind and body are distinct entities, each with its own unique properties. The body, composed of matter, is subject to the laws of physics, bound by space and time. The mind, however, is seen as something separate, a non-physical entity that exists in a realm beyond the reach of our senses. This division is not merely a philosophical curiosity, it has profound implications for how we understand ourselves and the world around us. If the mind is truly separate from the body, then what happens to our consciousness when our physical form perishes? Does the mind, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, transcend the limitations of the material world? The most prominent advocate for dualism was the 17th-century French philosopher René Descartes, a man whose ideas would shape the course of Western thought for centuries to come. Descartes, a master of both mathematics and philosophy, embarked on a quest for certainty, seeking a foundation of knowledge that could withstand the test of doubt. His method, known as Cartesian doubt, involved systematically questioning everything he thought he knew, searching for beliefs that were absolutely indubitable. Through this rigorous process of doubt, Descartes arrived at his famous declaration, cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He reasoned that even if our senses deceive us, even if the external world is an illusion, the very act of doubting our own existence proves that there must be a thinking entity, a mind, doing the doubting. Descartes argued that this thinking entity, the mind, is fundamentally different from the physical body. While the body is extended in space, divisible and subject to mechanical laws, the mind is unextended, indivisible, and free from the constraints of the material world. This radical separation of mind and body became a cornerstone of Cartesian dualism. Descartes' conception of the mind-body relationship has often been described as the ghost in the machine problem. The mind, in this analogy, is the ghost, an intangible entity that somehow inhabits and controls the machine of the body. But how can something immaterial interact with the physical world? How can our thoughts, desires, and intentions translate into bodily actions? This question, known as the problem of interaction, has plagued dualism since its inception. Descartes himself struggled to provide a satisfactory explanation for how the mind and body communicate. He proposed that the pineal gland, a small structure located deep within the brain, served as a point of contact between the two realms. However, this explanation was met with skepticism even in Descartes' own time and has since been largely dismissed by modern science. Despite the challenges posed by the problem of interaction, the idea of a separate mind or soul has held a powerful allure across cultures and throughout history. Many religious and spiritual traditions embrace the concept of an immaterial soul that survives the death of the physical body, offering hope for an afterlife or reincarnation. While dualism provides a framework for understanding the mind-body relationship, it also raises a host of complex questions that philosophers continue to grapple with today. If the mind and body are truly separate, how do we explain the undeniable influence they have on each other? Our physical health can profoundly impact our mental state, and conversely, our thoughts and emotions can manifest in physical sensations. Furthermore, advances in neuroscience have revealed the intricate workings of the brain, demonstrating the physical basis of our thoughts, memories, and emotions. This has led some to question the validity of dualism, suggesting that consciousness may emerge from the complex interplay of neurons rather than existing as a separate, immaterial entity. Despite these challenges, dualism continues to hold a place in contemporary philosophical discourse. The idea that there may be more to our existence than what can be observed and measured by science resonates deeply with many. The legacy of dualism extends far beyond the realm of academic philosophy. It has influenced our language, our art, and our understanding of what it means to be human. The very notion that we have both a mind and a body, a sense of self that transcends our physical form, is a testament to the enduring power of this idea. As we move forward in our exploration of philosophical thought, it is important to remember that dualism is just one perspective on the mind-body problem. Other philosophical schools of thought, such as materialism and idealism, offer alternative explanations for the nature of consciousness and the relationship between mind and matter. By engaging with these diverse perspectives, we can begin to appreciate the complexity of this fundamental question and develop our own informed understanding of what it means to be human in a world that often seems to defy easy answers. Our journey through philosophical thought leads us to empiricism, contrasting with Descartes' dualism. Dualism separates mind and body, while empiricism grounds knowledge in sensory experience. Observation, experimentation, and sensory evidence are key to understanding the world. Imagine a newborn, eyes wide with wonder, processing new sensations. Every sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch builds its understanding of reality. Empiricism believes knowledge is built on sensory experiences. Our minds are blank slates inscribed with knowledge through interactions. Seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling reveal the fabric of reality. One of the most influential proponents of empiricism was the 17th century English philosopher John Locke, whose ideas would have a profound impact on the development of Western thought. Locke, known for his contributions to political philosophy as well as epistemology, the study of knowledge, argued passionately against the existence of innate ideas, proposing instead that our minds are tabula rasa, blank slates, at birth. Locke believed that all knowledge, from our most basic sensory impressions to our most complex abstract concepts, is ultimately derived from experience. He argued that our minds are constantly bombarded with sensations from the external world, which we then process, organize, and synthesize into ideas. This process of reflection upon our experiences, Locke argued, is what allows us to form complex thoughts, make judgments, and acquire knowledge. To illustrate his point, Locke used the example of a blind person who, upon suddenly gaining sight, would not be able to immediately recognize objects or understand spatial relationships. This, he argued, is because the person lacks the necessary visual experiences to make sense of the world. It is through repeated exposure to the world, through the accumulation of sensory data, that we gradually construct our understanding of reality. Locke's emphasis on experience as the foundation of knowledge had a profound impact on the development of modern science and education. His ideas paved the way for the scientific method, with its emphasis on observation, experimentation, and the empirical verification of hypotheses. In education, Locke's influence can be seen in the shift away from rote memorization and towards experiential learning, where students are encouraged to explore, experiment, and discover knowledge for themselves. Section 3. The limits of reason. Empiricism emphasizes sensory experience but also values reason in understanding the world. Unlike rationalists, empiricists argue reason must be grounded in experience. David Hume, an 18th century philosopher, took empiricism to its extreme. Hume argued our knowledge is limited to impressions and ideas. He challenged causality, stating we can't truly know one event causes another. For example, striking a match lighting doesn't prove causation. Hume's skepticism questioned beliefs about the self, the world, and God. His views remind us of the limits of reason and the need for careful observation. Section 4. Hume's skeptical inquiry. Hume's inquiry into knowledge and causation challenged philosophers to rigorously justify their beliefs and ushered in empirical investigation in science. His distinction between matters of fact and relations of ideas remains a cornerstone of philosophical thought. Section 5. The power of observation. Empiricism, emphasizing sensory experience, has revolutionized fields from astronomy to engineering, leading to groundbreaking discoveries. Galileo, Kepler, and Newton used observation to transform our understanding of the universe. The legacy of empiricism extends far beyond the scientific revolution. In medicine, empirical evidence has led to breakthroughs like vaccines and gene therapy, saving countless lives. Social sciences use observation and analysis to understand human behavior and societal structures. While powerful, empiricism has limitations and cannot answer all of life's big questions. Our exploration of philosophical thought now leads us to rationalism, emphasizing reason and logic as primary sources of knowledge. Rationalism celebrates the human intellect's ability to deduce and infer universal truths through pure thought. This school of thought has profoundly influenced philosophy, mathematics, science, and law. René Descartes' methodical doubt laid the foundation for modern philosophy. His famous declaration, "Cogito, ergo sum, I think therefore I am," established a firm foundation for knowledge based on reason. Descartes sought to rebuild knowledge on clear and distinct ideas, using mathematics as a model. Central to rationalism is the concept of innate ideas, fundamental concepts present from birth. Leibniz compared the mind to a veined block of marble, with innate ideas shaping our understanding. Rationalists believe reason illuminates truth, much like the sun illuminates the physical world. Baruch Spinoza envisioned the universe as a vast, interconnected system governed by reason and mathematical laws. He argued that everything is part of a single substance, God or nature, and that free will is an illusion. True freedom, for Spinoza, comes from understanding and accepting our place in the order of things. While rationalism emphasizes reason, it has limitations, such as over-reliance on abstract thought. Critics argue that our senses provide vital information and that our minds are shaped by experience. Despite its limitations, rationalism offers valuable insights into the power of reason and abstract thought. Rationalism's legacy extends beyond philosophy, influencing science, law, and politics. Its emphasis on reason and critical thinking underpins the scientific method and movements for individual rights. Rationalism's questioning of authority has fostered intellectual freedom and progress throughout history. Existentialism grapples with existence, freedom, and the search for meaning in an often absurd world. Unlike other schools, it emphasizes individual experience and the responsibility of creating one's own meaning. Thinkers like Kierkegaard, Nietzsche, Sartre, and de Beauvoir explored themes of anxiety and authenticity. Existentialism highlights the paradox of freedom and the burden of defining ourselves in a purposeless world. One of the most distinctive features of existentialism is its emphasis on radical freedom. True freedom runs far deeper than the absence of external constraints. It is the freedom to choose who we are, what we believe, and how we live our lives. This freedom, however, comes with a price. Existentialists describe this freedom as one of anguish or dread. It confronts us with the responsibility of creating our own meaning in a world without inherent purpose. With no external authority, we are responsible for our choices and their consequences. Jean-Paul Sartre declared that man is condemned to be free. We are thrown into existence and must make choices that shape our lives and others. Even doing nothing is a choice with consequences. Authentic existence requires confronting our freedom and making choices true to our values. If the universe is inherently meaningless, as existentialists contend, then where do we find meaning? How do we live fulfilling lives in the face of such a seemingly bleak outlook? For existentialists, the answer lies in creating meaning through our own actions and choices. This is not to suggest that life is merely a blank canvas upon which we can impose any meaning we choose. Existentialism is not a philosophy of nihilism or despair. Rather, it is a call to action, an invitation to live authentically and create meaning. Albert Camus compared the human condition to the myth of Sisyphus, condemned to eternally push a boulder up a hill, only to have it roll back down again. For Camus, Sisyphus's struggle is a metaphor for the absurdity of life. However, Camus saw in Sisyphus's struggle a kind of heroic defiance. By embracing the absurdity, Sisyphus transcends it, finding meaning in the very act of rebellion. For existentialists, meaning is created through our actions, relationships, and passions. It is found in the everyday moments of joy and sorrow, in the struggles and triumphs of human experience, and in the choices we make that shape our lives. The leap of faith, a term most closely associated with the Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard argued that true faith required a radical commitment beyond reason and logic. It was a courageous embrace of uncertainty and the unknown. This leap was essential for living an authentic and meaningful life. It speaks to the human need to find meaning and purpose in a chaotic world. One of the most challenging yet liberating aspects of existentialism is its embrace of the absurd, the recognition that the universe is indifferent to our hopes, dreams, and desires. This is not a cause for despair, existentialists argue, but rather a call to embrace the freedom and responsibility that come with recognizing the inherent meaninglessness of existence. Albert Camus, in his essay The Myth of Sisyphus, eloquently captures the essence of the absurd. The world is neither reasonable nor unreasonable, it simply is. That is what constitutes its irrational character. For Camus, recognizing this fundamental absurdity is not a cause for resignation or despair, but rather a source of liberation. By accepting that the universe owes us nothing, that there is no inherent meaning or purpose to our existence, we are freed to create our own values and live in accordance with our own unique vision of what life can be. This embrace of the absurd is not a rejection of reason or logic, but rather a recognition of their limitations. Reason and logic, existentialists argue, can only take us so far. Ultimately, we must confront the irrationality of existence, the fact that life is often unpredictable, unfair, and ultimately beyond our control. By embracing the absurd, we open ourselves to a deeper level of experience, one that acknowledges the complexities and contradictions of life without seeking to impose false order or meaning. It is a perspective that allows us to find joy and wonder in the everyday, to appreciate the beauty of fleeting moments, and to find meaning in the face of suffering and loss. As we conclude our exploration of these 5 key philosophical concepts, we find ourselves standing before a richly woven tapestry of thought, its threads intertwined, its patterns intricate and complex. From the mind-body dualism of Descartes to the utilitarian ethics of Mill, from the empirical observations of Locke to the existential angst of Sartre, each concept has contributed to the ongoing evolution of human understanding. These ideas are not merely abstract theories confined to dusty textbooks. They are living, breathing principles that continue to shape the way we view ourselves, our relationship to the world, and the choices we make each day. When we ponder the nature of consciousness or the meaning of existence, when we grapple with ethical dilemmas or strive to create a more just and equitable society, we are engaging with questions that have occupied philosophers for centuries. The beauty of philosophy lies not in providing definitive answers, but in encouraging us to ask deeper questions, to challenge assumptions, and to embrace the ambiguity and complexity of the human experience. It is a journey of intellectual discovery, a process of continually refining our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The 5 philosophical concepts we have explored, dualism, empiricism, rationalism, utilitarianism, and existentialism, represent but a small sampling of the rich intellectual tapestry that philosophy has to offer. There are countless other schools of thought, each with its own unique perspective on the nature of reality, knowledge, and the human condition. As we continue our own personal journeys of intellectual exploration, we would do well to remember that philosophy is not a spectator sport. It is an active process of engagement, reflection, and dialogue. We are all invited to participate in this ongoing quest for understanding, to grapple with the big questions, and to contribute our own unique perspectives to the ever-evolving tapestry of human thought. Which of these philosophical concepts resonate most deeply with you? What other questions or ideas have sparked your own intellectual curiosity? The journey of philosophical exploration is an individual one, but it is a journey best undertaken in the company of others, through dialogue, debate, and a shared passion for understanding the world around us and the mysteries of our own existence.